Hello and welcome back to Moneycontrol's live stream. You're watching Closing Bell with me, Lavisha Darad. And it looks like the landslide victory for the NDA, touching that 200 mark out of the 243 member of Legislative Assembly where Bihar elections went into polls. And with BJP leading with about 94 seats, followed by JDU's 83 seats and LJP's 19 seats. However, RJD has secured a very modest 26 seats as of now, while Indian National Congress has secured with about 3 seats as of the current trends, which has been showcased by the Election Commission of India. So yes, looks like a clear victory for the NDA, and the Nitish Kumar and Modi magic that we were earlier talking this morning clearly worked in the Bihar polls as well. But the impact of these results on the markets hasn't been quite significant despite yesterday's bit of nervousness we did see in the late half hour of the trade. But right now we can see that Sensex has recovered from its day's lows, and right now it is quite flattish in the trade as of now. If you look at the Sensex trends, it has popped up in the green, flat with a positive bias, but very mild 42 points gain coming in for the Sensex as well. If you look at Nifty has also inched back above that 25,850 mark. Once again flat in the trade, but off the day's lows like we were talking about. We did see that the Nifty had slipped below the 25,800 mark as well during the intraday session. But right now we can see the recovery back to that 25,850 mark for the headline index. But yes, for the week, both the headline indices continue to remain in the green. It's snapping its earlier back-to-back weekly losses as well they had registered. But yes, both Nifty so far this week has been up by about 1% itself. But yes, let's take a look at the broader end of the markets, because both of them showcased some bit of a resilience. If you look at the mid-caps, flat with a negative bias, but small caps have been outperforming the markets with about 0.2% gain. So yes, both of these broader end of the markets have been showcasing good gains. On the other hand, what is doing well in this market is your Nifty PSU Bank with about nearly 1% gain coming in from the PSU banking pack. Nifty Pharma Index also seems to be doing well with about 0.4% gain. On the other hand, if you look at Nifty FMCG, after remaining weak for the majority part of the day, right now it's showcasing a gain of about 0.5% itself. However, what's not doing well in this market continues to be your IT stocks, continues to sulk for the second consecutive day as well. 1% decline coming in for the Nifty IT pack. And on the other hand, if you look at Nifty Metal Index, also showcasing a decline of about 1% as of now. So yes, both the IT and metal pack has been showing some mild downtick. Consumer durable stocks, oil and gas, both of these counters not doing well in this market. But let's take a quick check of the top Nifty gainers and losers of the day. You can see Adani Enterprises towering in the trade, one of the top Nifty gainers, 2% gains coming in for the flagship Adani Group entity, given that the company did announce its rights issue. And yesterday also we did see some buying interest which came up in Adani Enterprises, and today also the stock seems to be doing well with about 2% gains. On the other hand, you can see SBI, like I was talking about, PSU banks leading the charge today in the subdued market sentiment, but SBI doing well with about 1% gains. Sun Pharma also with about 1% gains coming in for there as well. Axis Bank and Eternal also doing well in this market. However, what is not doing well, definitely IT stocks has been sulking in the trade, and out of which you can see a decline of 3% by Infosys. Tata Motors passenger vehicle is also showcasing a decline of about 2%. Earlier in the day, we did see that the commercial vehicle arm was also not doing well in today's trading session, given that the second quarter results was quite disappointing from a street sentiment perspective. Eicher Motors also not doing well on the back of its second quarter results. JSW Steel seeing a decline of about 2%, and Tata Steel also showcasing a decline of about 1.5% as of now. But yes, to understand the last minutes of the trade and how you should be positioned in a traded setup like this, I'll go across to Nirav Chedda, Assistant Vice President, Equity Derivatives and Technical Research Retail at Nirmal Bank. Nirav, good afternoon. I mean, once again, we've seen that the markets did see some recovery from the day's low. But yes, after the election results, what are you watching out for Nifty, and what are the next levels that you want to underline here?
Yeah. Hi, Lavisha. Thanks for having me again. Nifty, just before the show started, it was deep in the red, and suddenly, as you started to speak, it has moved up quite a bit. It's been about more than 100 points up move now, and I believe Nifty should have been up from morning itself, but somehow it was down. the overall indications are still positive, and you look at the data. I believe Nifty should be around the 26,250, 26,300 levels going forward. So this is a buy on dips kind of a market. This is the dip one should be buying. You can keep a stop loss of around 25,850 for your longs and on the futures, and go long. And I believe 26,250 something that can come in pretty soon. Even for Bank Nifty, it is closing very strong. I believe it can go up towards 59,500 odd levels on the futures. So buying Bank Nifty even here would be a good option. A lot of Bank Nifty short stocks, especially the private sector banks, are seeing good traction, good open interest built up on the long side. So most likely you will see Bank Nifty also moving up. The stop loss for Bank Nifty should be 58,400 now on the futures.
Okay, all right. Bank Nifty also, it's done well this week as well. But yes, PSU banks clear outperformers for the day today, Nirav. Anything that you're finding attractive on the charts from the PSU banking space?
Yeah, in fact, my today's one of my calls is also on the PSU bank named Bank of Baroda. I believe this stock had witnessed a breakout in the last week, then some consolidation this week. Good support was taken around the 280 odd mark, and then good buying. So one can look out to buy this stock at current levels with a stop loss of 282. I believe it can go up towards the 300 levels.
Okay, all right. All right, let's talk about some sectoral moves. IT sector, that was the top performing sector this week as well. Today, however, it's seen a bit of a pullback. Nirav, what can we expect from the IT pack? Can we expect this trend of the weekly gains to continue?
Uh, See, for IT today, I think Infosys is down quite a bit, about 3% down, and that is why it is dragging the IT index as a whole. But most of the counters, including Infosys, have seen positive divergences and good, chart formations. I believe all of these stocks can come up in the next week. So yes, one should have IT in their portfolio. TCS is one stock which is a very good positive divergence stock, and from a near-term point of view, I believe this can be quite aggressive on the upside. So one can look to add TCS from a near-term point of view in your portfolio. You can keep a stop loss of 3080 and hold on till the target of 3250 comes in.
Okay, all right. Let's also talk about defense stocks because they also gained this week. We did see some good results which came in from Bharat Dynamics, and then we had Paras Defense also, which reported good numbers. Yesterday, we did see HIL also reported decent numbers, but what are you eyeing out for, and how does the defense space look like to you?
See, in this space, you rightly mentioned some of the stocks which have done well, but largely, it has been up and down, and last 1 year or so, probably more than a year, the whole index has been down. And one look at most of the stocks, looks like they are bottoming out, and as a whole, the whole index can move up. So if I have to pick something right now, something which has broken out. I'd pick Bharat Forge because after a long time there has been a weekly breakout in this stock, and the weekly breakout has come above the 1360 odd levels. It is going to close above the same today, so which is a good weekly close for this stock, and very likely in the next week this stock can probably go up towards the 1500 1550 odd levels, probably higher. So this is one stock that probably one can look at, and the second one is Paras. As you rightly mentioned, after results, this has moved up, but there has been a breakout which has come in this stock, and near term wise, I believe 825 to 830 is something this stock can do. So one can look to add this stock from a near term point of view, and keep a stop loss of 740. 825 will be your target.
Okay, all right. Let's also talk about the broad end of the markets, Nirav, because we did see that the midcaps did well this week, but today it's quite flattish in the trade. But can we expect the positive trend to continue because small caps also have been doing well?
Uh, See, at this point, looking at the overall money flow and the data, looks like, they are likely going to be in a small consolidation. They have been consolidating for at least a year or so, and that is something that will go on now. Again, yes, there will be some stocks which will move up, but largely, I think large caps or FNO stocks are the ones one should focus on because they are seeing good traction on the upside, good buying going on. So money flow is now with the FNO stocks and larger cap stocks. So right now, even for the next week, they should move up.
Hmm. Okay, all right. Let's also talk about realty stocks because they continue to, sulk in the trade today despite the late recovery in the markets. We've been seeing Nifty Realty down by about 0.1%. But yes, Nirav, coming to you, can the sideways trend continue? Because we've seen a good, rally in the month of October, but this month has been a relative cool off for the Nifty Realty Index.
Yeah, more or less, consolidation should go on. So, all the big boys in the real estate space, the likes of DLF, Godrej Properties, all of their charts are of consolidation, and they are longer term consolidations from a 1 year, 2 year perspectives. And I don't see any breakout coming in anywhere soon, or some support buying, good volumes at the lower end. So at this point, at least for the next week or so, still consolidation should go on. Once the breakout comes in for these stocks, that is when you'll see, broadly all the stocks starting to move up. But as of now, not really looking very promising for the real estate sector. But I'm not saying it will go down. So they should largely remain in range.
Hmm. Okay, all right. That's the view coming in for the sector as well. Let's discuss about individual movers today. We'll first talk about Muthoot Finance. Right now, the stock is trading with about nearly 10% gains. And we did see that the lender delivered an all-round beat performance when it came to the second quarter. We did see that the net interest margins expanded, recoveries remained steady for yet another quarter, and OM growth also came in strong and broadly in line with expectations. Even for the FY26, the management has revised its loan growth guidance to about 30 to 35%, up from its earlier forecast of about 15%. Nirav, today the stock is exhibiting good gains, and so far this year also the stock has seen a stellar uptrend. What can we expect next in terms of target levels?
Yeah, a super week for this stock and super day as well. The stock is moving in a higher top, higher bottom formation, and now breakout has come in. But looking at the overall chart, it has really come up from 1,000 odd levels up to 3,700 odd. So it is likely to consolidate. So I would only say that buy on dips would be a better strategy in this stock now. If it comes down towards 3,500, 3,550 odd levels, that is when you again buy the stock for a broader target of around 3,850, 3,900 odd. Don't see it going up very aggressively now, but yes, some consolidation if comes in, that is when you look to add this stock.
Okay, all right. Some consolidation could be on the anvil for Muthoot Finance as well. But yes, let's talk about another stock in focus. That is your Tilak Nagar Industries. The stock has not been doing well. 4% downtick coming in for the counter. And we did see a disappointing set of second quarter performance where the net profit is down by about 10% on a year-on-year basis and revenue has increased very modestly by about 6% on a year-on-year basis. Operationally too, it was a weak quarter for Tilak Nagar. EBITDA has declined by about 8% and operating margins have narrowed to about 15% in the second quarter. But yes, despite today's fall, Nirav, if you look at the past 1 month performance, the stock has still done well. So what can we watch out next? Can we expect further fall from these levels?
Oh yes. This stock from 2020 onwards, it was around 17 odd levels, and it has moved up above 500 levels. So, this consolidation has been impending for quite a long time. 5 years of outperformance and more than 10x returns. About 20x returns. So definitely, you see at the chart as of now, double top kind of a formation is in shape, and in all likelihood this stock can come down toward the 425 400 odd levels now. I would not suggest to hold on to the stock. One can look to book profits and wait for some downside.
Okay, wait for some downside for the counter as well. Let's take another stock in focus. That is your Marico. Well, the company did report about 7% year-on-year increase in its volume growth, which came in line with what the street was expecting. And net profit, however, that was marginally lower on an annual basis. But revenue, that saw a jump of about 31% on a year-on-year basis. EBITDA has also risen by about 7% on a year-on-year basis, but margins have seen a bit of a softening to about 16% in the second quarter as well. Right now, the stock is exhibiting gains of about 2%. Nirav, what can we expect? I mean, the stock has been fairly range bound in the last couple of months, but today it's showcasing some good gains, 2% gains. But how would you see this move in the counter?
Yeah, so it has largely remained in range of about 700 on the downside and about 745, 750 on the upside. Once 750 is broken above on a closing basis, that is when you will see the stock actually moving up. It is largely in range even now. The buy the stock only above the breakout of 750, not now.
Okay, all right. That's the view coming in for the counter. Let's take another stock in focus. That is your Natco Pharma. The stock is seeing a decline of about 1.5% as of now after it announced its September quarter performance. Number wise, we did see that the company report 23% decline in its net profit. Revenue has also slightly dipped. EBITDA has also seen a sharp drop of about 28% on a year-on-year basis, and margins have also narrowed. So it's been a weak set of numbers when it comes to the second quarter, and that's why you can see a decline of about 1.5% that is coming in for the Natco Pharma as well. Nirav, coming to you, how does the counter look like? Because if you look at the past 1 month charts, the stock has been fairly range bound. So going ahead, what can we expect?
Yeah, so there are some green shoots for this stock. It has come down first of all from 1600 odd levels. Now more than a year's consolidation or downtrend has happened. So very likely you will see this stock now bottoming out. Good volumes have been coming in. The most of the indicators are in the oversold zone as well. So more or less, I believe the selling in this stock is almost over. One can look to add this stock now, but the real breakout for this stock is around 860 odd level. So that once that 860 breakout comes in, you will see this stock actually moving up quite aggressively. So you can add some now, but above the breakout of 860, you can add a considerable amount, and this stock can then probably move up towards 950, 1000 odd levels in the near term. On the lower end, 780 is a good support, so that should be your stop loss.
Okay, 780 is a good support for Natco Pharma then. All right, let's move on and talk about Sonata Software. The stock continues to remain in the day's low levels after the company reported net profit growth of about 10%, but revenue top line is where the pressure was felt, and the revenue fell by about 28% on a year-on-year basis. EBIT rose by about 9%. Margins improved to about 7% from 4.5% in the previous quarter, but the stock has been sulking in trade today. Nirav, the stock has been a big underperformer so far this year as well. What can we expect next for Sonata Software?
Yeah, so I think a bottom is made for the stock around the 300 levels. Huge amount of volumes were seen at the lower end. So that is a very good support area now. Also, the overall trend has become bullish. No doubt this stock had gone up in the week, and now today it is down. But I believe it will again break above the 380 levels and move up towards 450 or probably even higher. I am bullish on this stock, so one can hold on to the stock with a stop loss of around 355 now, and once 380 is crossed above, you can add more positions and hold on till the target of 450 comes in.
Okay, all right. 450 comes in as our next resistance level. Then let's talk about another stock in focus, that is your BASF. The stock is exhibiting a decline of about 2% on the back of its weak set of numbers that came in for the second quarter. We did see that the chemical company has reported about 16% year-on-year decline when it comes to their bottom line performance. Revenue has also fallen by about 5% on a year-on-year basis. EBITDA is down by about 20%, and margins have also narrowed from an annual basis as well. BASF, any thoughts on the counter, Nirav? The stock has been an underperformer so far this year.
So still looks that it will underperform. The chart is weak, and the stock can probably come down towards the 4,200 to 4,000 levels. So I would not be a buyer as of now. I would suggest to avoid the stock.
Okay, avoid the stock as of now. Let's move on and take another stock in focus, that is your MRF. Now, the company's net profit has risen by about 12% on a year-on-year basis. Revenue has also grown by about 7% on a year-on-year basis. EBITDA has grown in double digits, and margins have also expanded by about 60 basis points as of now. But yes, the stock has been consolidating at a higher range. MRF, what's your view on this counter, Nirav? Right now, the stock is quite flat, but showcasing a decline of about 0.5%.
Yeah, so a super rally we've seen in this stock in so many years, but even that is now continuing, and most of the indicators still suggest that some more buying can come in. It had recently broken above a long resistance zone of about 1 lakh 53,000 odd, and now I believe after some consolidation, it is ready to move towards the 170 odd zone. So one can look to add positions at current levels. You can keep a stop loss of around 1,50,000 for longs, and 1,70,000 is your target.
All right, that's the view coming in for MRF as well. Let's take another stock in focus. That is your Eicher Motors, one of the top Nifty losers as well. The stock is down for the second consecutive day on the back of its second quarter performance, which didn't really impress the street as well. But yes, Neera, for Eicher Motors, how does the counter look like? We're seeing back-to-back losses for the counter.
Yeah, see, this stock had moved up quite considerably after that GST announcement, from 5,500 to 7,000 odd. And then now, recently, in fact, today, it has broken below the 50-day moving average, which has been a long-term support for this stock, which is a negative thing for the stock. It can probably now fall aggressively up till the 6,500 to 6,450 odd levels. I would suggest to exit the counter on the long side. You can in fact go short in this counter for that target of 6,450. You can keep a stop loss of 6,780 in this one.
Okay, all right. That's the view coming in for the counter as well. That is your Eicher Motors. Still, the stock is down by about 2% as of now. Let's take another view. Let's take another stock in focus. That is your Oswal Pumps. The stock has been doing well, 3.5% gains coming in for the counter after the company reported its second quarter numbers. We did see on the number basis, PAT has jumped by about 48% on a year-on-year basis. Total income has also surged by about 76% on a year-on-year basis. Operationally, too, it was a good performance. EBITDA rose by in double digits. However, margins contracted sharply to about 800 basis points. So margin pressure is where the stock is felt. But yes, Nirav, how would you view this counter? Oswal Pumps stock is trading with good gains.
Yeah, so this stock is moving in a lower top, lower bottom formation ever since it reached 850 odd levels. Now, important resistance zone for this stock is around 675. There is a falling trend line resistance of 675. So once that is broken above, that is when you will see a good buying traction coming in this stock. So I would suggest to wait up till that 675 level is broken. Once that is broken, you can go ahead and buy for a target of around 800. But till then, just hold on.
Okay, hold on to the counter. Let's take another stock which has been buzzing in trade on the back of its second quarter performance. That is your Jubilant Foodworks. The stock has been reacting well. 7% gains coming in for the counter, where the company has reported about 20% increase in its consolidated revenue. EBITDA has grown by about 20% on a year-on-year basis. Margins have remained steady, and net profit has surged by about 54% on a year-on-year basis. The company has also continued its rapid expansion. They have added about 81 new stores, and its newer brands have also shown some good momentum. That is your Popeyes. They have recorded strong double-digit same-store sales growth for the second quarter as well. Coming to you, Nirav, for Jubilant Food, the stock is seeing good gains, 7%.
Yeah, the overall trend has become bullish for this stock. It has broken above an important resistance of 605. It is closing above the same. A good chance for this stock to move up in the next week as well. It can go up toward the 670 odd zone. So one can look to buy the stock with a stop loss of 600, and 670 will be a target.
Okay, 670 is the next target for Jubilant Foodworks as well. Since we discussed about Eicher Motors, let's also touch base on Hero MotoCorp as well. On the contrary, the stock has been doing relatively better than how Eicher Motors has been doing. And that comes on the back of some good management commentary as well, where Hero MotoCorp is saying that the festive sales is up by about 17%. And they believe that they will continue to outperform the industry growth in the upcoming quarters as well. Hero MotoCorp, what levels can we watch out from here, Nirav?
See, Hero Motor has a host of resistance around the 5660 to about 5800 odd levels. So, yeah, it can probably come up to 5800 levels, but crossing above 5800 levels will be difficult. So, I would suggest if you are holding on, your target should be 5800 at this point of time. Fresh buying only above 5800 levels, but if you're holding on, you can hold on with a stop loss of around 5450.
Okay, 54.50 for the counter. Let's talk about one more Nifty 50 gainer, that is your Bajaj Finance for the day, showcasing a gain of about 1%. Very mild set of gains given the kind of drop that the stock saw following its second quarter results as well. Nirav, Bajaj Finance, how does the counter look like to you? Because earlier we did see that the stock did not react well after the company, retraced its ARM growth guidance for FY26.
Yeah, see, overall trend is still positive for this stock, but near term, definitely some selling came in. Good support areas 1000. So that is a good thing. Now, once this stock again moves up above 1030 level, you will see good buying coming in again in this stock. So I would be waiting for a breakout of 1030 in the next week. Once that comes in, that is when I'll become a buyer again, and I'll keep a stop loss of 1005 for this stock, and 1080 would be the target.
Okay, 1080 would be the target for the counter as well. But yes, the last trades coming on your screen where Nifty has clawed back above that 25,900 mark as of now. We did see in the last 30 minutes the picture completely changed for the markets, and Nifty has turned out to be in the green and in the positive territory once again. 0.1% gains coming in for the Nifty 50 index, 36 points gain for the Nifty 50. But yes, given the late recovery that the index has seen, it has recovered nearly 200 points from the day's low as well. Sensex has also rebounded about 600 points from its day's low. Sensex showcasing gain of about 100 points. 0.1% gains coming in for the Sensex as well. Nifty Midcap Index also did well with about 0.1% gains. Bank Nifty also is closing with about 0.2% gains as of now. Let's take a quick look at how the sectoral picture has been panning out then. We did see that there was certain cool off from the IT sector as well. Right now, IT sector has closed with about a 0.8% decline. Nifty Auto Index is also showcasing a decline of about 0.2%. And if you look at the other sectoral indices, that is your Nifty Metal Pack, that is also showcased a cool off about 0.8%. On the other hand, if you look at Nifty Realty Index, like we were discussing earlier, that is also closed flat but with a negative bias, so to say. On the other hand, if you look at the Nifty PSU banks, that have staged a smart comeback, showcasing a gain of about 1% as of now. On the other hand, what also did well in this market, that is your pharma stocks, showcasing a gain of about 0.5%. On the other hand, you can see Nifty FMCG also did well with about 0.5% gains. Now, let's take a quick look at the top gainers and losers, and we'll discuss the first top gainer as of now. Adani Enterprises with about 2% gains coming in for the flagship entity. Nirav, coming to you for Adani Enterprises, not just this, but we saw several stocks hit 52-week highs, be it your Adani Energy, Adani Ports, all of Nirav, coming to you for Adani Enterprises, of course, one of the top Nifty gainers. Has been a little bit of a technical glitch coming in there. But Adani Enterprises, for you, Nirav, how does it look like on the charts? I think there's a bit of a technical snag over there, a little bit of issue that's coming on our network. But yes, we'll discuss a little bit more about the top Nifty gainers and losers. You can take a look at Adani Enterprises, like I was talking about. This comes ahead of Adani Enterprises' rights issue as well, and that's why you can see good traction coming in for Adani Enterprises, second consecutive day of gains for this flagship entity. And not just here, but we did see that some of the other Adani Group entities, be it your Adani Energy, how this sentiment has panned out, given that we did see some late recovery in the markets. The entire day, the markets had been sulking for, given that the triggers were not clear and there was some uncertainty in the markets that had also cropped up. But right now, we did see some cheer panning out in the markets panning out in the markets as of now. But yes, let's go across to understand how the market looks like for the long term and how you should build your portfolios. Let's go across to Siddharth Khemka, Head of Research Wealth Management at Motilal Oswal, who will be joining us to understand how the market looks like and what's the way ahead looks like for the markets. All right, we'll just get him in a bit. But yes, the breadth of the markets definitely looks good for the markets. If you look at the advances, definitely it's been an upper hand, and if you look at the declines also.
Audio nahi aa raha hai.
But yes, let's go across to my colleague who's joining from the Mumbai studios, that is Yatin Mota, to discuss about how the individual movers look like and of course how the market sentiment also panned out for today. Yatin, good afternoon. I mean, talking about the markets today, we've seen a late recovery and markets appreciating. NDA's victory in Bihar polls came in quite late for the bulls.
Today it was looking like we will be ending about 100 points lower on the markets, but the last 20 minutes of trades was really a massive bump up in the markets. In fact, the Nifty ended the days higher by 30 points, almost recovering 150 points from the day's low, closing above that 25,900 mark. Sensex also moving by nearly 84 points. Now, talking about the movers, especially in the Nifty 50, we had stocks like BEL, Trend, SBI, Geo Financial doing well in trade. Obviously, except for the IT pack, we had a good momentum in banking stocks also. Talking about the Adani Group stocks, the FMCG stocks, there was some bit of buying in the last half an hour of trade. But yes, a sudden spike in the last half an hour of trade makes the week ending quite good, especially on Children's Day. I'm sure all the market participants would be happy.
That's right. But yes, talking about some of the individual movers, apart from Bihar elections, we also had stock-specific action continuing on the back of the final chapter of the earnings season as well. We'll talk about the first stock in focus, that is your Jubilant Foodworks. The stock did well on the back of its steady second quarter performance. 7% gains came in for the counter, and that was driven by Domino's India's recording 9% like-for-like growth and 16% surge in its delivery like-for-like growth as well. But yes, so from a numbers perspective, on a consolidated basis, we did see revenues rising by about 20% on a year-on-year basis. Net profits soared by about 54% on a year-on-year basis. EBITDA also grew in strong double digits, but margins were flat on an annual basis due to the cheese-related inflation for the counter as well. Now, the company has also continued its rapid expansion, added about 81 new Domino's outlets during the quarter, taking the total store count to about 2,000. Now, its newer brands have also showcased some good momentum. We can see that Popeyes has recorded strong double-digit same-store sales growth as well. Going ahead, the management also remains quite confident. They have guided for a mid-teen revenue growth, and they have reiterated its medium-term target of about 200 basis points of EBITDA margin expansion by FY28. And as a result of this, brokerages have appreciated the good results. If you look at MK, they have maintained the buy call on the counter, saying that the management's commentary well addressed investors' concerns around sustaining its top-line growth and margin recovery. They also believe that the current valuations are quite attractive for investors to make an entry at these current levels. HSBC also upgraded the counter to buy, and they also remain quite bullish on the counter. So, Yatin, given the kind of correction that Jubilant Foodworks has faced, the street is finding value once again in this counter then.
Yes, and they've performed better also. If you look at other QSR chains, the likes of Pizza Hut and Sapphire Foods and other listed players, I think for like basis, Jubilant Foodworks has done a very strong momentum. In fact, if you look at their margin guidance, their overall guidance to add nearly 100 Popeye stores moving forward is something which has kept the market on the positive side, despite the fact that the quarterly update was already out. The margin performance and the management confidence really boosted the share price, which was up almost 6 to 7% in trade today. And since we are talking about consumption, Hero MotoCorp is also one stock which was on the radar today. The numbers came in, but we had the analyst conference call at 10:30 post with the stock gained some bit of momentum. The management is quite confident that the festive season sales, which have created momentum, that would continue in the second half. In fact, post the GST cut, the management is confident that the two-wheeler sales will pick up, especially the entry-level motorcycles of 100cc, 125cc should do well. And most importantly, when it comes to the electric vehicles, they have taken a price hike, which would mean that Hero MotoCorp should be able to cut losses for the electric vehicle segment. And most importantly, for the electric scooters, they will be applying for the production linked incentive scheme, which is the PLI scheme. That should overall aid their margins on a console level. So, Hero MotoCorp, strong commentary, and the upcoming marriage season also should boost the sales for two-wheelers according to them.
Definitely, Hero MotoCorp also did well in today's trading session as well. But one stock that was a clear outlier today, that was your Muthoot Finance, because we did see the stock hitting fresh all-time high levels as well after the company posted a strong set of September quarter numbers. Now, the lender delivered an all-round beat from NIMs that expanded, recoveries remained steady for yet another quarter, and OM growth came in strong and broadly in line with the expectation as well. Profit performance was particularly exceptional because of 300 crore rupees of cushion from a sharp reduction in its NPAs, and that translated into about 58% year-on-year and 15% sequential rise in its net interest income as well. Now, with the cost of funds easing for Muthoot Finance, NIMs have also expanded by about 50 bips during the quarter. And for FY26, the management has upgraded its OM growth guidance to about 30 to 35% from 15% earlier. So that's a good growth guidance that the company has guided for. Now, the company has also pointed out improving trends in its microfinance landscape. They've said that the Belstar Microfinance OM has been steady and losses have also narrowed sequentially in the second quarter. Brokerages have given out a bullish call on the counter. CLSA has shared an outperform rating, raised its target price because they see healthy gold loan growth trends as well from a sequential and on an annual basis. And it also expects about a 25% OM CAGR over FY25 to 27. Jefferies has also given out a buy call on the counter, expecting that there would be further NIM expansion given easing credit costs are on the anvil. So, Yatin, all-round performance for Muthoot Finance, and given the kind of stellar run-up the stock has seen, it just once again reaffirms investors' faith into it.
Absolutely, and what a stunning rally it has been for gold financing companies. Probably in the last 12 months, gold will be up 55%, and gold financing companies like Muthoot are up nearly 108%. Obviously, today's move also is a testimony that despite the fact that the price to book valuation is nearly 4.5-5 times, a lot of brokerages that reports I was reading in the morning suggest target prices in excess of 4,000 or thereabouts. So, even from these levels, I think brokerages have been bullish, given the fact that there has been consistent growth and strong momentum when it comes to business for gold financiers, especially in the light that gold prices are also moving up. So, the underlying leverage also moves up in the system, which helps them get more business.
All right. Let's quickly go across to Siddharth Khemka, Head of Research, Wealth Management at Motilal Oswal, who's been joining us. Siddharth, late recovery in the markets and a clear majority for the NDA in the Bihar elections. How do you make sense of the sentiment then?
So, yeah, I think if you look at the exit polls were clearly favoring NDA, but what the actual results came out, and especially the last hour, which showed a landslide victory for the ruling NDA and a strong thumbs up to the BJP itself. I think that is something that the market has taken positively. That is only going to strengthen the political stability at the center. So I think pretty good set for now, and I think Monday also. Obviously, some of that is being factored in today in the last 30 minutes. But even Monday morning, we'll see that should help see a positive opening on Monday itself. What is also helping is that today, I think last few results that have come in much better than estimates. So stock specific also, if you look at from a large cap perspective, they have been pretty supportive, and that has also helped led the recovery in the markets for the last few days.
Okay, okay. But Siddharth, it's the last leg of the earnings season. How are you making sense of it? And are we on track for the double-digit growth guidance that we are watching out for the second half?
So yeah, Loisha, I think if you look at Q2, the expectations were pretty modest, and I think the delivery has been better than expectations. Still, that double digit, I think we'll see in Q3 on back of the strong festive season, the holiday season that is upcoming. Plus, you had the GST rate cuts boosting the demand. So I think across spectrum, we are seeing the commentaries that Q3 could be much better, and so H2, the overall projections is that will be much better in terms of the growth compared to H1. H1, I think. By far, we have seen the results being ahead of estimates from large caps. Mid caps, stock specific, have given much better numbers. And I think that is where we are seeing the kind of resilience in the market. Some of the sectors, for example, banking has delivered better than expected numbers. Auto were ahead of estimates. Consumer, if you mix, they were mixed bag. The staples have been steady. Discretionary so far for Q2 were the numbers have been weak. Strong uptick from global cyclical commodities, metals, oil and gas, large margin gains there. Technology also did not disappoint. I think better than expected numbers. So all in all, I think Q2 earnings have been in line with expectations, and the intensity of earnings cut that we were seeing earlier, that has moderated a lot. And going forward, I think, as we said, domestic theme, the consumption theme, that should pick up in Q3 onwards.
Okay, but from a thematic perspective and from a sectoral perspective, Siddharth, what are you watching out for after the Q2 earnings season?
So as I said, the domestic theme, that is something that we are liking. We believe the festive season that has gone by, that is looking that is looked pretty strong demand. Now the holiday season is coming up along with the wedding season that has started. So a lot of these consumer discretionary themes, auto, jewelry, I think some of the travel, tourism, those kind of sectors that could do well. Banking looks pretty interesting. The NIM compression that has bottomed out, and we believe a pickup in credit growth that should take the banking sector way forward ahead. I think technology can be another sector to watch out for with the India-US trade talks nearing completion. I think any day the announcement comes, that should also help aid sentiments for the technology space. I think the US government shutdown now over, that is again a positive direction for some of these global pharma as well as IT companies where the demand is largely being catered for. So a little bit on the higher risk side is the exports recovery thing, but I think what continues to do well is the domestic demand thing.
Okay, okay. So that, now that we have some, progress in terms of trade talks, of course, US President has hinted that we could be nearing a deal now that India has reduced its purchases of Russian oil. Could that be the next trigger for the markets?
So, I think that's one of the biggest trigger that the market is awaiting. I think that could even change the flow of FI direction. The governments on the both sides, I think the officials are working hard to iron out a deal. Both governments on their part have, I think, brought down the expectations. India on its part has reduced the oil import from Russia. They are also talking for a lot of other factors that needs to be taken care of. I think US has also softened its stance in terms of the tariffs that they have imposed, and we heard the president saying that the tariffs on India is pretty high and not sustainable, and they are willing to relook it and reduce them. I think if the deal were to be announced, that would be one of the biggest triggers now going forward. Now that the earnings season is almost over.
Okay, okay. So that would then make you relook at some of the export-oriented sectors now that the government has also released about 45,000 crore rupees of support package for majority of these sectors that have faced severe tariff heat as well.
So yeah, Lovish, I think the government has been supportive even when the initial round of tariffs were announced. They came out with some package, support package for the export sectors. I think especially the textile, the gems and jewelries. Pharma and IT are the larger exporting nations, both of which are not to that extent directly impacted by the tariffs because the generics exports that we generally do into US is still not impacted. The IT services is still not impacted, but there is a sentimental impact that is there because of the demand and the overall thought process that we have from the US perspective. So yes, I think there is a hope that with the US deal nearing completion, I think the exports recovery theme could again be looked at. Most favorably, IT and pharma are the two spaces where we are looking at. In IT, some of the mid-cap IT names are looking pretty interesting. Something like a Persistent, Coforge, HCL Tech are our preferred picks there. Within the pharma space, I think CDMO is something that we like. Biologics is another segment. So companies like a Biocon, Laurus Labs, these kind of stocks are our top preferred picks.
Okay, okay. What about the large cap IT names, Siddharth? I mean, India is touted as an anti-AI trade play. And now that we are seeing some investors rotating out of the tech stocks from the US markets, can India be a beneficiary then?
Indian tech companies are basically the tech services companies and not the tech development companies, or in that sense, the innovation companies. I think to play tech services, some of the large IT companies are definitely in place. Valuations are comfortable, cash flows are there. I think the biggest question or the near term, I think headwinds continue that in the sense that demand is still weak and is yet to pick up. And I think that will take 1 or 2 more quarters for things to normalize. Until that time, I think one needs to have patience. If at all you are looking at large cap IT, I think 1 or 2 more quarters of consolidation could be there. Some news related events could trigger some upside, but definitely one needs to have a longer term 2 to 3 year perspective. I think that makes sense. But in the near term, I think Q3 may not be that strong, and hence we don't see a good upside in the near term.
Okay, okay, all right, all right. Anything, Siddharth, that you have been cautious about? I know we discussed a range of sectors that you have been positive on, but anything that is making you wait on the sidelines for now?
So definitely, I think some of the sectors, I think if you look at specifically in the real estate side, I think the interest rate cut cycle has almost been done. Demand has now kind of stagnated. I think that is something where some bit of cautiousness is there. Another sector is the power sector. The lot of demand euphoria was there, but now I think last quarter Q2 earnings has not been that strong. Something like a power grid numbers have been weak. We have downgraded the stock from a buy to neutral. So these kind of pockets, I think one needs to be aware of. Some of the spaces where valuations are pretty high, price to perfection kind of stocks where earnings growth are not commensurate. Again, those kind of spaces, market is punishing a lot. So again, you cannot club them in a sector because within sectors you have companies which are delivering and companies which are not delivering. So clearly, companies where earnings growth are remaining weak and where valuations are still high, I think that is the space where one needs to be very cautious of.
Okay, okay, all right. All right, Siddharth, with that, we have to let you go, but thank you so much for your time and connecting with us.
Most welcome. Thank you.
Right, that's all we have for this edition of Closing Bell. But yes, what a day it has been and what a Friday it has been. NDA clearly retaining the majority in the Bihar elections, and then we are seeing a late recovery in the markets as well, where we did see that Nifty has continued its winning streak for the fifth consecutive day, and it has closed above that 25,900 mark as well. But for the entire week also we have seen that both the headline indices have closed in the green with about 1% gain. And next week we'll watch out whether or not the market pans out and extends this particular gains as well. But yes, until then, do have a good weekend. But yes, before I let you go, let me once again introduce you to Moneycontrol Super Pro, which can be your ultimate investment superpower. You can get all the live trading calls, investment ideas from SEBI registered experts, pre-identified chart patterns, and AI-powered stock alerts right on your WhatsApp to help you trade and invest with confidence. So download the Moneycontrol app and subscribe to Super Pro today itself.